they were beaten by Switzerland. We saw them against El Salvador. They only managed to win 4-2, and it was just one team that they beat 5-0, and even then they missed a penalty in that encounter. I wasn't particularly worried for Senegal when they were to meet Brazil, and I said Senegal can actually go on to beat Brazil, and they did it. 5-4. The Brazilians at one point took a 3-1 lead. They scored the first goal. Senegal equalized. Then they went 3-1 up in the second period. But in the third period, fortunately for Brazil, they missed a sitter, and then it went to extra time where Senegal got 2 more goals and Brazil got a late consolation. So 5-4, it ended. Senegal in the semi-final, Brazil out.
All right, so big ups to Senegal. I think they have done Africa proud. It's not easy. It's not every day you hear that an African team has beaten.
This is the first time ever. Beating Brazil.
Yeah,
but this is the first time ever that they're getting to the semi-final.
It's not every time you hear that an African team has beaten Brazil in the quarterfinal stage of a Beach Soccer World Cup. So they have overachieved, sort of. They have over-punched it for Senegal. I mean, if you look at the group they found themselves during the course of the group stage of this tournament, they found themselves in Group B, and they had to play against Japan, had to play against Switzerland, had to play against Spain. They navigated themselves through that difficult group, and they were able to get out of it and into the quarterfinal, where they have now beaten one team that is arguably the best team in the history of the beach soccer. So for Senegal, it's the semi-final stage for them, and you know how it is at that stage of the tournament. Anything can actually happen. If they meet a weaker team, or if they meet a team that they are better than, who knows, they probably give your A game to it. Senegal saw Brazil, and they said, we are going to see this as something that should motivate us to conquer Brazil. If they can go through a difficult group to get to the quarterfinal stage of this Beach Soccer World Cup, who says they cannot beat Brazil? And look at what they've done. Even though they had to do it in a difficult manner, it doesn't matter. A win is a win for Senegal. So I'm sure they will be cherishing the moment, and they will be waiting for the opponent in the semi-final stage of the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Russia.
And another game, Switzerland, who, as we mentioned, beat Brazil on penalties in the group stages. They spanked Uruguay 10-0. So the Swiss also in the semi-final.
So big ups to them. Anything can of course happen at this stage. Remember, anything can of course play anything at this stage of the tournament. So we're still hoping that our African brothers, talking about Senegal, can punch it once again. For Switzerland, I think they will. From what I have seen,
Senegal, they will be playing the winner of the match between Tahiti and Japan. Tahiti and Japan are playing later today in the quarterfinal, and then the Russian Football Union will be taking on Spain also.
Well, it's going to be.
The winner of Russia versus Spain will play the winner of will meet Switzerland.
So it's not going to be easy in any way for Senegal. But then
but if they've beaten Brazil, let's say Tahiti beats Japan, Senegal versus Tahiti, Senegal will back themselves. Japan, Senegal will also back themselves. I mean, if they've beaten Brazil, they will just feel okay, we can beat another team. Honestly, the strongest team I see right now in the competition, I'll say Switzerland, because they beat Brazil and they are doing well.
And Senegal can also look at themselves to say we are tricky opponents, we are difficult opponents as well. But then against Brazil, people would say, okay, it's Senegal people are underdogs going into that match. But after it all, you now see that these guys are
they are now the favorites.
So anything can happen from this moment on. So let's see how far Senegal go. We hope they get to the final, even though they don't end up winning the World Cup. But then history has to be made.
After beating Brazil, you should go on to win the World Cup. Seriously. Like when we beat Brazil in the semi-final of Atlanta 96. And the papers, because they were so excited that, okay, finally an African team was getting to the final, they said silver or gold victory it is. But I just felt, no. After beating Brazil, you've got to beat Argentina. Because I felt that, some said the Argentines were even more difficult to beat that Brazil. But I felt, come on, we've beaten Brazil. Everybody thought that Brazilian team had Ronaldo de Lima. It was called Ronaldinho then. They had Bebeto. They had Juninho. They had what's this left back's name? Roberto Carlos. They had Dida. They had Amaral. They had Flavio Conceição. They had so many fantastic players, and yet Nigeria, and they were even managed by one of the greatest coaches ever, the only man who has won the World Cup 5 times. That's talking about different stages. He won it as a player twice, then won it as a coach when he was in charge in 1970. We're talking about Mario Zagallo, and then he won it as an assistant coach in 1994, and was also part of the team that won. I think he was one of the consultants there that won it in 2002. But as at the time that they were playing against Nigeria at Atlanta 96, he had been part of 4 World Cup triumphs for Brazil, and so they were looking like, okay, nobody can beat a Mario Zagallo team until Nigeria came along.
Yeah, it's possible, but you know, this is not to take away anything from the Nigerian team that conquered the world at the Olympics in 1996. But I tell you for a fact, things like that, they happen once in 15 years, maybe once in 10 years.
It might be even once in a generation.
So it's not like it's every time, but when you are in form, you've got a big team in front of you, ensure you create history, because you don't know when you're going to have that opportunity. With the way Senegal are playing, like you said, I don't want to run ahead of myself. With the way they are playing, you can look at them to say, okay, these guys, they can win the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup. So that's the opportunity they have decided to make use of. You've beaten Brazil. Whoever is in front of you, beat yourself to say, we're going to get to the final of the tournament. And who knows, you can face any
team or Japan in the semi-final. Senegal should be in the final. I expect Senegal to get to the final. If they fail to beat Tahiti or Japan, whichever one they meet in the semi-final, then we'll say no, you didn't do well enough. But good luck to them, and congratulations. We hope that they would be able to get the job done in that semi-final, where they will be playing against either Tahiti or Japan. Alright guys, let's go on our first break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Good dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey they use comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pains wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth. We could protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
And the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
The big leagues are back, and DSTV is the only place you can watch it all. Enjoy live matches weekly from the best leagues in the world. We're talking the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, the Champions League, not to mention the return of the Europa League. That's Salah, Kane, Haaland, Bruno, Lukaku, Suarez, Messi, and CR7.
Oh my goodness!
All week, every week.
You're just lost for words!
Nothing beats the unbeatable football on DSTV.
All right, welcome back to Sports Fiesta live on 90.7 KFM Benin City. Well, I told you that I had absolutely no doubts, not even a single iota of doubt in my mind that Nigeria will win gold medals at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. And we can tell you it has started. Latifat Tijani, she was able to win Nigeria's first gold medal at the Paralympic Games. She lifted 107 kilograms to head past China's Ze Gui and Justina Kozdrich from Poland to become the winner of her category. That's the 45 kg powerlifting. So first gold medal for Nigeria.
Absolutely, first gold medal for Nigeria. It's one that we have to keep talking about. It's something that we have to keep utilizing these beautiful men and beautiful women who are there in Tokyo to do Nigeria proud. We know how it is. Like we say here, we've had we had a bad day in the office yesterday in the Paralympics event, but then today it's looking better. The we should say now the Summer Olympics guys could not get a gold medal for us, and here we have them on the day 2 of the events. They're already getting us a gold medal, which is good. Hopefully before the end of today we may see 1 or 2 other medals coming from Team Nigeria, or even before the end of the week we should get more good medals coming from the Paralympic team of Nigeria. I think she did well for herself. At the time, during the course of her own events, she tried as much as possible to attempt the world record and of course the Paralympics record, but then she wasn't able to do that. I was talking about Latifat Tijani, but whatever she did in terms of raising up to the minus 107 kg, she did absolutely well for herself. Like here they said, she beat ZQ Justina Kodrak of Poland, and it's not a bad result for her in any way. The most important thing is it's a medal for me. It's not about whether you're able to beat the world record or whether you're able to get the Paralympics record. The most important thing is getting that gold medal. Well, those ones, the records are the icing on the cake, okay? Yeah. But then the medal is the main thing. That's the cocoa.
All right, and there's disappointment for Nigeria because of Yakubu Adeshokon, who we many expected that this guy was going to get the gold medal in the minus 49 kg event. Unfortunately for him, he only finished 4th in the competition, so he did not even get a medal. He's 42 years old, and I recall that for some reason, I don't know, but the Ministry of Sports in the circular that they sent out yesterday, they said it was unforeseen circumstances and circumstances beyond human control. He got to the Paralympic Games late on Wednesday after a 20-hour flight, and he is having his events this morning. Yeah, and they even said it in that report that maybe they hope that fatigue will not play a factor and all of that. So he did his best.
Yeah, his event was in the early hours of this morning.
Yes.
And he didn't help in
and this guy has he won the gold medal at London, I think also at Rio, and then he has won the World Championship, so we all expected that he was going to still do it, but unfortunately for him, maybe the lack of rest and all of that, because he did not arrive early, and he had to again go through the medical clearance because of COVID restrictions and all of that, so he finished 4th in his competition.
Absolutely. Well, he will live to fight another day. Well, Yakubu Adesoko, he missed out on the podium by just the skin of his feet. He came as 4th in his own events as the minus 49 kg powerlifting. It's not the worst. I mean, if you look at the circumstances that led to him getting to this point, you know that he had a tough journey coming to Tokyo. But coming out 4th is it's not terrible. It means he was close. If he had a better travel plans, I'm sure he would have gotten a medal for Nigeria. So let's see whether he will continue now. He's 42. In the next 3 years, he's going to be 45. So I don't know whether he will continue lifting the weight.
Pavin Mamadov of Azerbaijan got the bronze medal, while Umar Karada of Jordan got the gold medal after he lifted 173 kg ahead of Levan Kong of Vietnam, who also lifted 173, but he was awarded the silver medal. Okay, so that's what is going on at the Paralympic Games. As the events unfold and Team Nigeria are doing great stuff, we will be giving you details of everything that's happening. Okay, let's go to Europe now and talk football. Well, there are reports now that the French Ligue 1 is no longer one of the top 5 leagues, going by the recent reports from UEFA, the coefficient, because of depending on how you perform in the UEFA competitions, the Europa League and in the Champions League, you are ranked according to that, and because of the recent performances of French clubs in these competitions, they have now been overtaken by Portugal. So what UEFA is saying now is that it is now the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, the Italian Serie A, the German Bundesliga, and the Portuguese League before the French Liga.
That's shocking to me. I mean, it's shocking. If you even look at the Portuguese teams, I don't think they have. I think they have done almost the same thing that the French Ligue 1 has done. In recent times, we know that PSG have got into the final of the FA Champions League. Either they're getting to the quarterfinal or they're getting to the semi-final stage of it. Last season they did well, but then it wasn't good enough to get them to the final of the competition. Overall, I think PSG are more like really shining lights in that league at the continental level. The likes of Lyon, Marseille, Lille have not over the years lived up to expectations in terms of getting to a good place in the UEFA Champions League. Season in, season out, you can't come as visitors to the league and then you're not getting to a respectable height in the league. You're not getting to the quarterfinal, you're not getting to the semi-final. I'm sure that for the likes of Marseille, Lyon, or Lille, maybe Montpellier, if these guys had been getting to, let's say, the quarterfinal stage of the Champions League or the semi-final stage, don't get to the final, I'm sure their coefficients in terms of the rankings would be totally different from what we're seeing now.
It was Monaco's failure to qualify for the Champions League group stage that was the last push that made the Portuguese league to overtake them.
And that's the thing, when Monaco brought in that owner who, of course, was splashing the cash here and there. At the time, he couldn't continue that one, so they had to resort to selling players for a lot of money. Recall how much they sold Anthony Martial for to Manchester United, or they also sold Fabinho to Liverpool for a lot of money. So these days, they are a selling club. And I mean, if you look at the team, you can't even put them on the same level with PSG. If they had continued in the manner they were going at that point in time, I'm sure by now they would have been at par in terms of quality with PSG, getting similar players that PSG have gotten, and it would have maybe helped them on the continent. But if you look at Monaco right now, I don't think they are. At the time, they were even fighting relegation with Leonardo Jardim. I remember he was sacked at the club and then brought back again. But you look at the team currently, they don't look like a team that will even qualify for the Champions League, and they are struggling. You have to say it the way it is.
Yeah, but maybe if you are a supporter of any of the French sides, don't get too worried, because remember that there was 1 year, about 3 years ago, when even Nigeria had our coefficients slashed because of the poor performances of our clubs, and we could only present one team in the CAF Champions League and one in the CAF Confederation Cup. And now, if Paris Saint-Germain, who we expect to do well in the Champions League, Lille also playing in the Champions League, if they do well in that competition, then it's likely that the coefficient will rise and the French Ligue 1 will overtake the Portuguese league again and become one of the top 5 leagues. But because of this current situation now, even before now, they don't get 3 automatic places in the Europa in the Champions League. They have to go through the qualifiers.
Yeah. We see those lowly ranked teams. I mean, lowly ranked leagues. Excuse me. We see them, of course, see their teams. Maybe sometimes, apart from those teams that finish as the league winners. Now the rest will just have to go through the qualifying process, and that's why. And if you notice on this show, in the last few weeks, we've been talking about UEFA Champions League qualifying matches, and then of course their results. Now those teams there are not the highly ranked teams in the UEFA coefficients. For the likes of Liverpool, for the likes of Manchester United, for the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, these guys are and there are others actually, but then these guys are highly ranked teams in the UEFA coefficients, and their leagues also is highly ranked and highly placed too. So you don't expect them to go through the UEFA qualifiers before they can now get to the group stage of the competition. I think it's a wake-up call to the teams in the French Ligue 1. Apart from PSG, Lyon, they've got to step up. Marseille have got to step up. AS Monaco have got to step up. Montpellier have got to step up. Lille have got to step up. I don't know why they are always maybe leaving it out for PSG to, of course, take all the shines in the UEFA Champions League. It's also a strong message has to go out for the Nigerian teams. Ibrahim, I think we are going to get to the point where we may be going back to giving out 2 teams to represent us on the continent from the way we are going, because currently you place Enyimba in the UEFA in the CAF Champions League, and then at the end of the day, they just exit to move to the CAF Confederation Cup, and then you bring.
And they won't even be playing the Champions League next season.
You understand the way it is. So we'll get to that level where CAF will have to start looking at our teams and say, you guys are not doing well in this competition. What's the point of bringing here when we know that we're not doing well? You can have just one slot instead of two slots, and we have to do better. These days, the only competition on the continent that we even try to get to the quarter-final stage or even semi-final stage has to be the CAF Confederation Cup. For the Champions League, over the years, in the last 5-6 years, we've done absolutely nothing to write home about, and we have to improve on that because the other teams are growing and they are catching up. And by the time they catch up with you, I mean, CAF always say, what's the point of having a big team like Enyimba in the Champions League when we can, of course, have other teams who have caught up with them. So we have to buckle up and get the job done. I don't know why we are not doing well on the continent, but I can tell you for a fact.
I think it's pretty obvious. Sometimes it's not the best teams that make it, so unfortunately it happens because as we've established, it's not really the quality, but again, when a team qualifies to play in the Champions League, that is if they even have their best players still with them at the end of the season. It's at that time that the CAF Champions League is about to start. That's when players of these clubs are trying to head to Europe to sign foreign deals, and so your best players don't necessarily stay to compete in the Champions League. Anyone that has hit some limelight, will just want to move abroad, and unfortunately it doesn't work out well for the club.
And that's what we're saying. Rivers United have lost one of their players to a Swedish club. I'm not trying to remember his name now. Former Enugu Rangers.
That's the thing. The moment they get attention, recognition, they just want to go.
I think his name is Austin Aguda. He has gone to a Swedish club. I think Falkenberg FF or thereabouts. And then there's also in the camp of Aqua United.
Some of them are even moving.
Aqua United. They lost Olisander to Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
The deal is over the line now, and these two teams are going to be playing in the CAF Champions League. Imagine where your main player has left your team. You look at Aqua United, one of their main guys have left the team. And before the season ended, Aqua United also lost Different Effiong to a Libyan club. So who is going to prosecute the CAF Champions League for Aqua United? Unless maybe they are going to get additional quality players. But we know how it is. If a player is used to a system, it's easier for the coach to continue in that process. But if you bring in a new player, it may take a season or two to get used to the way the club plays football. And in the Champions League, you don't have that time to do that because you may be playing just 2 matches and it's not enough for these players to gel together. And we know how it is in the MPFL. The season does not start most times before the CAF Champions League starts or before the CAF Confederation Cup starts. So how fit will these players be going into a continental engagement? Now, clubs in South Africa are playing football currently as we speak. Okay, clubs in maybe Algeria or Tunisia or the other leagues across Africa, their leagues are on. But then we just finished our league season, and it may even take us 2 or 3 months before we have another league year or calendar year, and then by the time we start, the other clubs have gotten to maybe 10 matches, and it's not going to help us in any way. So too many reasons here and there.
Okay, before I start taking your calls, let's give you this story. Juventus, they have told Cristiano Ronaldo that they are willing to sell him this summer, but only on their own terms. They are not allowing him to go for free. I don't think they're even interested in a swap deal. And there are rumors that he and Manchester City have agreed personal terms. That's what they are saying. I don't know. We really don't know how true that is. But what we can tell you, what is confirmed, is that earlier today, Jorge Mendes, who is his agent, he had a meeting with top officials of Juventus, including the vice president Pavel Nedved and chief executive Mauricio Arrivbene, and as well as a sporting director Federico Cherubini. So they met with the agent of Cristiano Ronaldo, and they told him, we understand that Mendes has already even offered Ronaldo to a couple of clubs, but they have told him, no problem, we are not going to stand in his way if he wants to go, but we bought this guy for 99 million. He has 1 more year left on his contract, and they are not prepared to allow him go for free. The figures have been banded. Some said they wanted 25 million pounds to sell Cristiano Ronaldo. But the thing now is Cristiano Ronaldo may be sold this transfer window, but it has to be on the terms of Juventus. Just the same thing that Paris Saint-Germain are saying to Kylian. Sorry for that breaking transmission. Guys, you can now join us on the show. Call us on 070-626-39275 or 090-3939-4427. You can also reach us on 081-2178-9154. Please keep those calls coming. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
This is Mr. Godwin from Makoro.
Good to have you, Godwin Demada.
Yeah, thank you very much, guideline. I'm looking at that coefficient of the thing, about reducing shifting French League to 6. Let me take it. I think it's a little bit harsh on them, but then I think apart from Porto, is there another thing that is actually making it count in the Champions League? I don't think so. I think there are.
It's not just on Champions League, there is also the Europa League.
Okay, accept that. Well, it's okay. Let's say I have to, make through that because a player of his caliber not supposed to, find himself in such a condition. But then I'm not going to look at that.
No, but it's not all the big players in the French League are also affected. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that is the they go have the that's where they have all of them. So beyond that, for Eyimba, I don't know, not just Eyimba, Nigeria representatives, just like your colleagues have said, have sent it over and over because their best players are just going to not just Europe, Africa countries. And what you are having there, it's a very big concern for the country because these are the various clubs that are going to compete with in CAF competition and CAF partnership. So when you are not losing your best, not that they are really bringing any best at all from what I've seen so far for the transfer that have been running in the local league. So that is to show that everything is going to be very difficult because we cannot compete Even with this player with us, we couldn't really do well. I know why they look at even the first Saka, that is Salah to work one day. They are able to go. They the other guy, Charles, Australia and another. Now they are losing the show of the country. And it's a very big concern for the Real League. That is the truth. But then, I just thought that I'm not the Pinnick, LMC, and they have to do what is necessary to make sure that the league is put upon. And the player are prepared, and the motivation they allow them to wages. Because these are the reason why they are playing. That's the truth. So they'll be able to keep the best and bring the best from other countries. Thank you very much for having a blessed week.
Thank you. And I recall that Mama Pinnick meeting the players and telling them, look, we don't want you to go and sign for mushroom clubs and all of that. We want you to go to big clubs. Yeah, it's good. I like that idea and everything. But why don't you make the league competitive? Why don't you make it attractive for them?
Financially,
if our players are going to Orlando Pirates, as I'm going to them now mention, it's in Africa, it's in South Africa.
Yeah.
Al Ahly is in Africa, is in Egypt. So if they can do so well, the Wydad club, Wydad Casablanca and Raja Casablanca, the Casablanca club, if they can, our players would want to go there to play. I don't understand why we cannot make our league so attractive that players from other African countries can come here. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nanjima, welcome.
Good evening.
Yeah,
because the people who do in the success, the less close for Nigeria, they not take our business. If you say they take our business, because they know this club, you know people pay value the club, and people pay like and the club, they see they do it. When they want person the own business, the people are saying you don't care for the business. So you play against one or two seasons. If you find a way you have the people for us. And the club now, they know what they do for continent. So that's my bad. So when Mbappe, not to let that guy go, because now the last quarter in 1 year now is if they let him go for free, they will pay lose money, if they let him go. And you know, without the company giving, then another commercial event, to be a thing I thought by the first I would do. Because now only in DJ, but I'm not saying without the 36. You can see the deal, you see the better pass others. No, commercial day. Now do it.
Alright. We hear that he's disappointed that they are not competing for the Champions League, and since they arrived, they haven't gone past the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
He's done well for himself at the club. I don't think a man cannot make a forest, even though sometimes it happens like that. But I mean, Ronaldo has currently no business with Juventus. I think he has pushed them to the level where he feels like I've done enough.
But why did he go to the Juventus in the first place? Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? What's your name? Sorry.
My name is Musa.
Okay, where are you calling from?
From Agbo Park.
Alright.
When is the Champions League draw?
Tomorrow.
I thought it was today.
It's tomorrow now, is it not Friday? Champions League.
Yeah,
draw.
tomorrow now. Tomorrow is Friday. It's a traditional thing.
Okay. So regarding Mbappe to Real Madrid, I would say PSG are about to make a big mistake because Mbappe will come back to us PSG.
He will come back to them if they don't sell him.
If they sell him, they will come back to.
Yeah, but they don't want to sell him now.
Okay. Is there anything about Liverpool transfer?
Sorry?
Liverpool transfer. Do you have any news about Liverpool?
Liverpool transfer? No, nothing yet about that.
What of Brendan Johnson match? Was it played today?
They're supposed to play it today. I will get that, but they're supposed to play today.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, and for hold on. The Champions League draw
is today. It's scheduled to happen by 5 p.m. This evening in Istanbul, in Turkey. So that's the way it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome.
I'm Chelsea.
All right.
It's today. It's not tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow. It's today.
Thank God. When I know who they play. As for Ronaldo leaving PSG, I don't know where he'll be heading to. Whether he's coming back to England, I think my match team will be good for him. But sorry, okay, but I don't know how much will Juventus sign Ronaldo. Is it up to 50 million pounds?
99 million now. You don't forget.
99. It's about 3 years now, right?
He's in his third year, yes.
It could drop. I mean, what they are ready to sell him as well. I mean, that's 25 million. So
that's not official, though. People are just throwing that about. It's not official that's how much Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus are saying they will sell him.
Yeah, and for Chelsea, since we beat Arsenal, we're trying to meet people. So, all the same, I think it's a good one beating Arsenal. I mean, I don't know when we are going to play against Liverpool. It's like whatever the outcome of the result, I think it will be good for us, but not a lot. Maybe a draw of or a win will be good for us. They know that Serena Williams has already pulled out again with the sister. I don't know, I was even praying for her to win her 24 grand, and now injury has pulling out. All the same, I think he's coming back next year strong to win her 24 grand. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, welcome.
Always from Yawa.
Yeah, always gone.
About the Champions League draws, just hope Manchester United gets an average draw, like big team and beyond small teams as they call them in our group. Because I would like to see
Manchester United are in pot 2. They are not even in pot 1. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope they need a team like Barcelona.
They cannot beat Barcelona because they are in the same group, in the same pot as Barcelona.
I thought Barcelona was in pot 1.
No, Barcelona is in pot 2.
Barcelona don't win the Spanish La Liga, so they cannot be in pot 1. Pot 1 is reserved for the teams who have won their various leagues. So
or you win the Champions League because Chelsea are in pot 1.
So
okay, anybody will make no problem. And for the Mbappe transfer, I think PSG should at least let him go. Because he has made up his mind that he wants to leave, he don't want to sign a new contract. They keep it from now to next season. They just leave for free. That means they will be at loss. Because I think they've not finished paying the money that they use in dining.
Alright. Okay, let's quickly look at the pot for the Champions League draw. We've given this before, but let's just review it. Pot 1, Chelsea, Villarreal. Chelsea, of course, from England, Villarreal from Spain, Bayern Munich from Germany, Manchester City from England, Atletico Madrid from Spain, Inter Milan from Italy, Sporting Lisbon from Portugal, and Lille from France. Pot 2, Real Madrid, Spain, Barcelona, Spain, Juventus, Italy, Manchester United, England, Paris Saint-Germain, France, Liverpool, England, Sevilla, Spain, and Borussia Dortmund, Germany. Pot 3, Porto, Portugal, Ajax, the Netherlands, Shakhtar Donetsk, Ukraine, Leipzig, Germany, Salzburg from Austria, Benfica from Portugal, Atalanta from Italy, and Zenit St. Petersburg from Russia. And then pot 4, Besiktas, Turkey, Dynamo Kiev, Ukraine, Club Brugge, or Brugge as they call them, Belgium, Young Boys from Switzerland, AC Milan from Italy, Malmo, Sweden, Wolfsburg, Germany, and Sheriff Tiraspol of where are they from? Country,
I think it's in Moldova, so I'll just confirm that.
Okay. All right. So these are the clubs that are going to be in the pot for the draw. So you could tentatively just look at the pots and guess that. Okay, let's say let's use Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are in pot 1. So say Bayern Munich, they can draw Real Madrid, of course, on all the other groups, all the other teams that are in this spot too, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, and because you're only protected from drawing the club from the same country.
That's from your own FA or from your own federation.
Yeah, just say from the same country, so they cannot play against Leipzig, for instance, or against Borussia Dortmund. So we say Bayern Munich, they come to pot 2 and they take maybe Manchester United or Real Madrid or Barcelona. Then they go to pot 3, they take Ajax. They cannot draw Leipzig because Leipzig are from Germany. They can draw Salzburg because they're from Austria. And you go to pot 4, they can take on AC Milan. Just imagine if it is Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Ajax and AC Milan in the same group.
I think we want to check something there. We just want to maybe test how strong this is AC Milan. But it's going to be a tough group. Ajax will always want to do that thing in that group, and they show that they are also a big club among the big boys in European football.
Yes.
Okay. Tiraspol is actually from Moldova, like we rightly said. So.
Then you look at some of the teams that are paired, and then they will automatically be assigned groups. We've got Chelsea and Manchester City, Atletico Madrid and Sevilla, Inter Milan and Juventus, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, Lille and Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid and Barcelona, Manchester United and Liverpool, Porto and Benfica, Shakhtar and Dynamo Kiev, Leipzig and Wolfsburg, and Atlanta and AC Milan. Okay, so after they do the draw today, the first round of matches will be played on the 14th and 15th of September. All right, let's quickly go back to the phone lines. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yes. I want to know who is the highest paid footballer as we speak right now.
Somebody asked this question in the morning, and we said, as it's right now with the new contract I signed, it is Lionel Messi. What? No one collect from the money. I don't understand. Okay, let's look at the text messages.
Okay, let's see if you can get messages across now. This one says, alright, let's wait for it to pop up. What does it say? Okay, let's try to get it to. Alright, okay, let's just start from here. This one says, for real, is Jorginho actually the best player the whole of Europe can offer? Anyway, congrats to him if he wins. Emma Mayong from Benin City. I'm guessing you're not a Chelsea fan. Okay, because I'm sure the Chelsea guys would want their man to win that. Another one here says, Men of Sports, what happened to the goal scored by Huddersfield? This is coming from Godwin. I wonder, is he talking about...
Yeah, that's a match with Everton, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Everton that they played. Yeah, there was a player of Huddersfield standing in the line of sight of the Everton goalkeeper.
Okay,
yeah, that's
that's
why they didn't give it for obstruction.
Okay, hello Sports Gurus. I learned Chelsea is going for Jules Koundé while trying to sell Zuma. In my opinion, selling Zuma, who is Chelsea best header for Koundé, I think this is a poor business. I've watched this guy Koundé play. He's a good player going forward, but defending, I don't think he's excellent. I just hope Chelsea keeps Zuma and forget about Koundé. It's just my opinion in a way. I will love to hear Mr. Ibra's opinion on this. Osas from Mekawa.
On what?
On Zuma to West Ham. Why? I mean, selling Zuma when you have. Why signing Jules Koundé when you have a Zuma? And he's also asking why should Chelsea sell Zuma, who is their best header of the ball. And he also says that Jules Koundé is not as good as Zuma. So he says he wants your opinion on it.
Well, I don't know if I will agree that Jules Koundé is not as good as Zuma. Zuma is good. You said he's got a very good aerial threat and everything. Arguably the best header for Chelsea. But there are some other things that you look at Zuma and you feel that he lacks, and I think that is what Thomas Tuchel has noticed, and that's why he doesn't play him as much as you would have expected him to play. But even then, he has been a very good squad player for Chelsea. I think he's prone to mistakes. He's always passing the ball backwards. That's one thing I personally do not like in players. You know, when you're always going back all the time, you get the ball. He has
the Spanish defender kind of mentality. They always pass forward. They hardly pass at the back. That's for Jeskunde, by the way. Maybe that's what the guys at Chelsea are looking at. And word of men of sports, I thought the UCL draw. Okay. The UCL draw is for 5 p.m. this evening. He's also asking who won the UEFA Player of the Year. Ike from Uselu.
It's when
hopefully we should get that across this evening, and we should be everywhere by tomorrow morning. Please add Player of the Year and the UEFA Europa. That should hold today. Even that of the Europa League. Usually after the draw for the Champions League, the Europa League draw follows alongside, maybe an hour later or 2 hours later. Now we have a new league, which is the Europa Conference League. We're also expecting to see the draw for that one. That's if it happens today. If you're able to do that today, fine. But if they're not, then maybe tomorrow or the next we should get the draw for the UEFA. That's the Europa Conference League. It's a new league, so we're going to get used to it pretty soon. Good evening, sirs. Let UEFA pair us with Barcelona. We're unfinished business with Spain. Can't wait to see Man U and Bayern in the same group. At least noise pollution go reduce. Chelsea better from Benin. Okay. I just hope that what you're wishing for another club does not happen to your team. Good PM, my two Oga for sports. Oga Ibrahim, you said Juventus bought Ronaldo for £99 million. That is huge money for his age. Good job out there, Sheriff from Aduawa. Sheriff, thank you very much for your message. Good evening, sports gods. Please, as Coach Genotron not release his squad for the World Cup qualifiers. Elvis from Yobo. No, he has not released that. We told you a few days ago that one issue here there, something has to be sorted out, because we know that the English government are saying if you leave for the international break and you go to a country like Cape Verde, you're not going to come back without going to self-isolate for a period of 10 days. So I'm sure at the NFF are looking for a way out of that type of
there are some countries that are in the category of the red list country. So that's why the unfortunately Cape Verde is one of those countries, and because the Super Eagles will be traveling there. So if you do that,
if there's a way, maybe
FIFA president has already written to them,
the British Prime Minister,
asking them for some consideration. But from what I'm hearing now, it's not even England alone. Spain and Italy are also saying the same thing. So we just might have to play this, except if FIFA will contact everybody and tell them just allow these guys to go and play. It doesn't affect only African players, by the way,
because other countries are also affected too. Even in South America, the players are also affected because they have to go for the international break. Okay, we have the last message here. It says the Europa League and the UEFA. It's actually the Europa Conference League. It's not the UEFA. The third league is the Europa Conference League. It says the Europa League and the Europa Conference League draws. Okay. I think I get what you're saying. All right, thank you very much for that. You should have added the name to it.
Okay, all right, guys, thank you. That's our package. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the fresh edition of Sports Fiesta. And hopefully, we'll be telling you who is in which group in the UEFA Champions League. All right, guys, we're leaving now, but remember, stay tuned to 90.7 KFM Benin City, because up next is News Break at 5 p.m. Bye-bye.
This is what we talk about.